guy could at some point have a big influence in one of these matches, but you can really take either side and you've got a good chance.
What a good lag from both. It is Labutis who just about gets the verdict. He's appeared in 2 previous major ranking event quarterfinals on the World 9-Ball Tour, and he's won both of them.
Yeah, well, one thing I label about Labutis probably that maybe is a little different than earlier in his career. He really seems to get better every match. I think he can analyze his own game and know himself very well. Like you said, won both those quarterfinals, and I don't think that's a coincidence. All right, just a simple safety. He wanted a little more out of the cue ball. He wanted to cut off that right side rail. Could have used maybe a hair of a bump on the pink. But a lot more freedom with this kick shot here to open. Now, anytime this ball's out in the middle like this, you'll notice off either side of the blue 2, there's a scratch possibility, that being in the upper corner or the side pocket. Kind of like a medium speed.
Well, it's achieved the desired result from Labutis' perspective. Yeah, just to clarify, just again, a race to 10 as it was in the last 16. It will be a race to 11 in the semi-finals tomorrow, race to 13 in the title match.
And obviously a great starter here. Really, oh wow, he kind of got into the ball there. Fortunate the 6-8 didn't get tied up. Probably a little fortunate not to get snookered. So that's something you don't see very often from Labutis, kind of like a misjudgment, not only striking the ball maybe, but how to strike the ball. Yeah, that one too. So both times he's been a little quick with the backswing. And what happens here now? Look at the 6 to the 7. If he doesn't get absolutely ideal on the 6, he's going to have trouble getting on the brown 7 later in the rack. Kind of anticipate him opening the 5-9 here. Hard to play position otherwise.
Extension.
You can hit way down the rail and they'll go in at that kind of pace. But if you overcut the ball and it goes into the far jaw, there's no tolerance.
No, not at all. And this is what I was talking about. Now he's got to move the ball into position on the green 6. And okay, fortunate he has the corner. This could make speed a little easier. But like here, he's going to have issues, and that was all about that first shot on the blue 2. Had a very slim margin for error. I don't know if drawing the ball through the 8 will really work or not. It's hard to tell how that collision on the 8, but going forward would be your usual play. Oh, wow, he didn't even contact the 8. Of course, he missed the ball, so it's hard to judge. How did he not hit the 8 there, Phil?
Yeah, extraordinary that contact was avoided. But if you whack the ball like that, you have to be super accurate. Otherwise, the object ball will be repelled. As sure as eggs is eggs.
Yeah, and we could see him in a seat. The chest really heavy breathing here early. Watch out for the kiss. And that's where some of the 9-ball players that don't play some other disciplines don't really see that kiss coming. But he didn't have a whole lot to play with, really. Really kind of a fortunate kiss to make this ball so tough, especially after a miss from Labutis. He'll tack here.
That kind of quality shot settles you down.
Yeah, and I talked about it. I think Labutis, knowing himself and his game, some players, they really are on top of their technique. And if you notice, much cleaner stroke there on the green 6. Fell a little straight. So, I mean, you could kind of hold there. I kind of like drawing back a little bit closer to the 9, even though you're going to have a hair more angle.
First blood drawn by Pijus Labutis. 1 down, 9 to go. On the other table, Daniel Massaol, who was the outsider in his previous 2 matches, is now the favourite against Tobias Bongers, and Massaol, who's so highly thought of by his fellow players, is also nicely in the second rack. He beat Shane Van Boning last night in the last 32. He was 8-4 down. Van Boning potted a thunderous 2-ball, very unlucky to scratch, and from there on in, Massaol just dominated, won 6 racks in succession. And then today, what a win over Ko Pin-yi.
Yeah, but you could see why if you got to watch that match. He just is breaking the balls beautifully. Broken, ran 5 or 6 racks, I think, against Ko Pin-yi. And, you know, we got the highest ranked player still in the event is Josh Filler. But I kind of feel that after watching today and what he's done, Daniel Massaol may be one of the guys to beat.
One 0 becomes 2-0 as a whole succession of balls go into the pocket on.
If you watch it, pretty fortunate. He didn't hit the one how he wanted, even though great results, making 4 on the break. But the cue ball was going to get lost in that side pocket, I believe, anyways. Yeah, it was tracking. It's actually missing the one in the side is what saved him. Got a kiss on the cue ball. Now, this is the type of shot, especially early, he should attack anyways, that if you can dare, he can go a long ways. For not only settling you in, but you know you're going to have to make more big shots in this match. Expect him to hit this with a low right spin, trying to wrap that corner. Maybe just kind of come 2 rails at the pink. Well, he's cueing a little left English, it appears. Okay, he did hit. Watch out for this little kiss right here. That was dead center. And he will still remain aggressive here on a cross side bank. I think he will anyways. Must not have been there. Most players wouldn't pass on that bank if it was available. This is where I think Duong has gotten so much better. Of course, he may go to the air here and try and bank this in long rail, but if he kicks at it, I just think he's improved in that department tremendously.
Part of Team Asia, who beat Team Europe in the inaugural Reyes Cup at the tail end of last year in Manila in the Philippines. What an experience that was for him, and he definitely contributed.
Yeah, I mean, Yap got the MVP, and of course we know how Yap plays, Mr. Consistent, came with so many shots, but I think if you talk about who came with the most shots, it was that man. Many questioned how he would hold up in the Reyes Cup, and I think he was a very strong piece for Team Asia.
Yes, the Cup began with a team match when Europe came back from 4-0 down to win 5-4. Duong having missed a 7-ball, which would have given Asia victory, and you think, well, his first experience of this kind of environment, he might struggle from that point. Absolutely not.
A little shocked he went forward there, even though he hit it beautifully. Thought he may just stun 2 rails across, especially on the slick table.
Both quarterfinals in play at the moment are 2-0. Labutis has made an ideal start. Now then, what about a golden moment in the junior final? Ivan Rudenko breaking golden in the 3rd rack, and already he's a 1/3 of the way to the trophy. He leads Walter Laker 3-0. Those golden breaks always very welcome.
Yeah, and this is some special stuff for these kids. They're going to be around each other for decades to come, and they can reflect on these early moments in their career as juniors and hoisting titles along with the best in the game. One thing I missed, I didn't start playing till 17 years old, but I hear all the other players talk about the junior worlds they got to play in and got to play each other in this area of the world or that area of the world, and that's pretty sweet.
World rack, Labutis break.
So Duong Kwok-Wang knows that Labutis is so solid, so consistent. Allowing him to build a big lead is not recommended.
Okay, definitely a little bit of a miss hit on the break again. Did get the 1 down. You could hear all the clatter kind of like, so it wasn't so solid. Good thing, one thing for our champion from Vietnam, he's looking at that 4-7 kind of pinned together on the bottom rail. So you expect to see him get out of the chair in this game. Labutis, a very smart player as well, so a lot of people say, why knock that ball in with the 4-7 the way it sits? Because he wants to get in position to play a tidy safety off that pink. So he'll draw the cue ball back probably past the 9. I wouldn't mind coming all the way to the short rail, really. Now the safety a bit more odd from this angle. He could play a rail first and clip the pink and run the cue ball up table, letting the brown hold the pink in position. And the only reason I think he didn't draw it further back, I think that corner pocket was maybe in the line of the cue ball, so he didn't want to make some big mistake. This is certainly odd. He's playing the rail first, just a little nip on the, oh, he's playing ball first. So he's going to leave a little gap, it appears.
You saw on the back of Duong's shirt there, His nickname, the Martian. Well, the Martian wants to be on top of the world at the end of this evening in the semi-finals, but I think it will be a tough task. Labutis is a well-rounded individual when it comes to 9-ball pool these days. He's been so close to a massive breakthrough on several occasions in the last couple of years, and I think it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, absolutely. Didn't hit it how he wanted there. Wanted a little more underneath it, but he did get separation. I think he cut him off the, pocketable look at the pink. I think Hoàng he's ready though. He just needs to get a look at something. This should be something like the pink towards the 6, maybe float the cue ball one rail towards the 7 using the 8 and 9. That'll do. That's the department I think he's gotten so much better in. Maybe a little fortunate how the pink cannon into the 9, but really played the cue ball nicely. Yeah, one of the toughest kick shots. Looks like he's going to miss it to the right heavily, yeah.
Out.
Yeah, that was one of those shots where, from our position, we knew even before he played it, he wasn't going to make contact.
Yeah, especially with top English. Maybe center ball maybe had a chance on that line, but I think that was a slim chance. I think maybe the shot clock, got him. Now, when I'm in a position like this, I usually like to follow the ball into the side. That way I'm going forward with the cue ball, looking at where I want to get. Again, a little funny on the 6 to get to the 7 with the 9 in play. Looks like he's going to have to take a little distance on the 6 as well. And this is the type of shot. You have a little worry with the 9, a little worry with the 8. Tell you what, he looks pretty calm to me.
Well, the aforementioned Reyes Cup was played in front of a very large, noisy crowd in the heart of Manila. And Hoàng showed to himself there that he can cope with pressure. Okay, that was team, not individual. But the same principles apply. Hoàng needed to strike there, and he did so. Pijus Labutis leads only 2-1. Welcome back to Sarajevo. In 2014, this place was the European City of Culture. This week, it is all about one particular sport. The sport of 9-ball at the Hotel Hills Congress Centre. Not too far from the airport, actually, on the outskirts of town. The players have loved being here, and it's been a particularly memorable event for Duong Kok Quang. Can he keep going? Can he keep the flame alive for all of those Vietnamese fans back home watching, well, now in the middle of the night?
Yeah, well, I'm sure that they're tuned in. Don't worry about that. I was going to say that, you know, it's hard to recognize in one match, maybe even one tournament, but I do give the breaking edge to this man here. A little bit over Pijus, but we've seen a variety so far. And that's one thing he excels at. He has a very good touch.
The biggest underdog in the tournament, Tobias Bongas, went 2-0 down to Daniel Masséol. Now it's 2-2. Bongas just won't go away.
Well, like I said in the opener, it kind of reminds me of what Fedor Gorst did in Saudi last year, just playing close match after close match, but still advanced.
Extension call.
So the last safety that got Wong on the board, it gave us ball in hand, or gave him ball in hand rather. Now a difficult hit, and another one of those, depending on the speed, 2 different scratches available off the one. He's made it, and he opened the 2 off the side cushion. Remember those little things there, especially if he gets out and possibly puts a rack or 2 together with it.
Well, after that, it was no surprise he apologised. That was the perfect occasion to say sorry. Double fortune.
Yeah, it's funny. My generation, we really didn't ever hardly apologize. You know, I mean, 9-ball pool in those situations, you're trying to create luck. That's why the percentage of hitting the ball is so important. Just long term, you're going to occasionally have some of those.
Stephen Hendry, the 7 times world snooker champion, he gets annoyed with the amount of apologies that happen in snooker these days. But I think there are certain occasions when the acknowledgement of a massive amount of luck is appropriate, and that was one of them earlier in this rack.
Yeah, well, I just think every time a player apologizes, the other player should say, are you really sorry or not? You know, kind of thing. So okay, so it's been a little hit and miss. Hit the pocket a little rough in this match a few times, so the timing hasn't settled in. You could see misposition pretty easy there. Now again, how's he going to work the cue ball? I think he can get to the middle of the table, just be satisfied there. Looks like he's coming backside, maybe 3 or 4 cushions. Looks like perfect speed.
Best hit that's a little full rather than aim towards that far jaw. If you do that, it's not going to go. You can hit the cushion a ways down and flop it off the near jaw, though. Yeah, exactly what he did. So 3-1 for Labutis. That was I was about to say a golden piece of luck, but really it was a platinum piece of luck.
Yeah, he shook them around and they came out nice. And one thing I talked about earlier in the tournament with Labutis that, without asking him, I certainly can't figure out, is a lot of players play with the extension, the little one, the big one, whichever it is, and they'll take it off for certain shots, where Labutis quite the opposite. He plays without it most of the time, maybe half the time, I don't know, but then he adds it for certain shots, just like he did there on the 9.
Our referee Vanya Hodzik re-racking the balls. Labutis last year, what a time he had. Runner-up in the Pro Players Championship. Semi-finalist in the UK Open. Semi-finalist in the International Open, which is the biggest event
Pijus break.
apart from the majors, on the tour.
Yeah, also second at the Derby City Classic, if I remember. So
Yeah, I was going to mention that because it's a lengthier story. We'll wait for this break.
okay, much more of what he wanted as far as the strike on the one.
Yeah, the Derby City Classic, basically, they have so many entries and the opportunity to buy back in. It was supposed to finish that final last year on a Sunday. And eventually Labutis lost to Joshua Filler in the title match close to lunchtime on Monday.
Yeah, I was there for most of it doing some commentary, and I couldn't last with these guys. I had to let it go at about the semifinal, I think, and but it was a grind, and I believe Hill, wasn't it, if I remember correctly?
Yes, it was definitely a heartbreaker.
Okay, I thought he might just simplify here and high ball and take the three from distance, but he's starting to really get tuned in, it seems.
His other near miss, Labutis, he was actually a rack away from appearing in the final of the Spanish Open in Lugo in northern Spain, 2023. He lost 11-10 to Mark Bijsterbosch.
Yeah, and you know, of those final four or final eight, I thought he had played the best. Even in that semifinal he lost, I thought he was pretty unlucky to lose it. Which we went on to have a Hill match in the final there. Okay, wants to get off the rail. He has options from the 6 to the 7. Could go top inside, kind of around the 8. Could stun backwards towards the upper right corner. Should be either one. He should take the brown 7 in the upper left.
Extension call.
Wow. Wow, that's missing the mark by a long ways. And, you know, I personally would have stunned, but either way, I expected him to succeed and maybe showing a little nerve still.
Yeah, for a player of his caliber, that was a real boo-boo.
Yeah, it wasn't like he caught a piece of the 8. He hit it dead in the face. May kick behind this, trying to bring the 7 down by the 9 on the short cushion. Oh, he went for the bank, and he hit it beautifully. Ooh.
Almost an Al-Qaedi named after Al-Qaedi's length of the table bank to win a World Masters some years ago.
Yeah, the thing about that Al-Qaedi bank that was so impressive, not only being Hill for the title, but the cue ball was froze on the rail, and he hit it with so much confidence. All right, one of his bread and butters, usually the thin one.
Foul.
Yeah, just overcut it to the pocket. You'll notice if when we get the replay, watch the 7 hit the top side. Yeah, almost missed it, almost overcut it really.
And when you scratch with a couple of balls left, it's a formality that you're going to be there with head in hands, wondering why that happened. Labutis marches out into a 4-1 lead. Now the year ahead, 2025 on the World 9-Ball Tour, we have some really exciting tournaments. The next up, well, in my neck of the woods in the West Midlands, Telford, UK. UK Open, May 6 to 11. That's after the Premier League, of course, which is the invitation event here in Sarajevo next week. Florida Open has been announced today in Orlando, the Carib Royale Resort. I was there for the Moscone Cup in early December. I liked it so much, Jeremy, I went back on vacation there in early January. It's very close to some great restaurants, some great golf courses, and Disney World is literally 2 miles straight down the road. US Open in Atlantic City, August 18 to 23. Hanoi Open, the best attended of the major 9-ball ranking events, will take place in early October. The Reyes Cup also scheduled for that time of year. And then we reconvene for the Moscone Cup at Alexandra Palace in December.
Yeah, still struggling with the break. His best in the last, for sure. But just nothing's been the same for Labutis on the breaking in. And it's weird. It's almost like when you get a little quick with it, the balls come out a little different, obviously. The one comes short quite often. You hear a lot of clatter, a lot of kisses. But Duong, he's got to get this going.
Not being negligent, giving you the score on table 2. Massion's back in front. 3-2 over Bongas.
Okay, a nice shot there. Much better than it looked. Didn't have a ton of angle to move the ball all the way across. I think he can hit this thin enough to go 1 rail, 2 rails between the 4-9 up to the center of the table. Wants to go a little bit, and that's ideal. You can just kind of bring the cue ball back where it's at now for the pink 4. You could roll through here, or you could kind of use the 9 to get that great angle to get from the 7 to the 8.
Much needed. 4-2. In fact, it's 4-2 across the board because Daniel Massion is leading by the same score on table 2. More pool coming up after the break.
Don't even know what you are messing with. We're coming at you with a brand new hit. Something's telling me
Night has fallen in this colourful city of Sarajevo. It's the capital city and the largest in Bosnia and Herzegovina. That's the Miljacka River, one of the geographical features of this place. Also the fact we're completely surrounded by the very scenic Dinaric Alps. And for Daniel Massiol, that was a sight for sore eyes as well. The winning 9 ball to go 5-2 up. He's looking very powerful indeed. Next up on table 2, it will be the all-Asian affair. Japan against Hong Kong, Naoki Oi against Loh Ho Sum. As for table 1, the nightcap will be Joshua Filler against Wojciech Szewczyk. Always look forward to seeing Filler play. He is something else. First, though, we've got to get this one decided.
Yeah, and I talked about his break, but that's the second time he's missed the one out of his 2 breaks. Didn't make the oddball this time. I think he was pretty happy the way he hit him overall, the way the cue ball kind of zigzagged back and forth through the racking area. That's usually the sign or the information the players are looking at. So what it's been so far, after a big mistake, you're not getting punished too much. You're able to get right back in the grease and kind of forget about things. Gotta hit this easy to hold the proper angle to get from the 2 to the 3. If he goes any further, he's got problems with the black 8. Now I think he's in a pretty good position to draw the cue ball back for the red 3. And you can see the 4, 5, 6 on that end.
Miscues look bad, but they sound even worse.
Yeah, and they're not usually some kind of freakish thing. Usually there's something in the delivery that causes that. A lot of times what it is, you tend to let up a little bit, the back elbow drops, and the cue kind of levels out, gets underneath the ball, but you don't really see a whole lot of that there. I don't know if I like the roll shot here. Or maybe just go ahead and try to draw into the pink. He rolls it, he's going into the red 3. Which is, you know, if you were just going to dial it up like how to perfectly play it, that's the shot. But lighter speed is hard when you're nervous.
And would you believe it, the gaps there? So directly, at least, the Labutis miscue cost him nothing.
Yeah, and the way he played it was to put the cue ball where it's at now, but I thought that was a kind of in-between kind of way to commit to that blue 2.
And by backing that ball and therefore holding the cue ball, an opportunity has presented itself. Oh, and then the 3. The 3 is wobbled unnecessarily.
Yeah, he's not even close to settled. I mean, hit the ball that firm. He had plenty of angle. And you can always tell when the timing's off because he didn't get as much cue ball movement as he wanted. Maybe fortunate to cut him off the make on the red 3. We'll see. I don't think the crossover bank really plays either. So it'll be a safety. Maybe bring the cue ball into the 9 or the purple. A little surprised that Wong didn't roll that ball and really try and jam the cue ball up on the purple, cutting off the jump.
Extension call.
Well, it's worked out.
Yeah, and I think that was by design. Maybe not the control on the 3, but definitely bringing the cue ball behind the 6-9. And again, that's why I thought maybe Duong would have thought of that. Boy, this is close quarters for the jump cue.
Jeremy, it's one of those racks.
Incredible effort. It's easy to overcut these balls occasionally because the cue ball's in the air, so it doesn't hit really on the equator of the 3. It hits a little high. Called it, Phil. One of these racks.
They crop up every now and again, and what happens almost defies belief. Both players enjoying good fortune at times. I think the better fortune has been on the side of Labutis in this rack, though.
Yeah, and I don't really see much. I'm not sure what he's going to do. Okay. Pretty heady play just to try and get the cue ball up table and take your chances.
How about Daniel Massiol in top gear? 6-2 up on Tobias Bongas. 4 racks on the trot for the pole.
Yeah, what I've seen from Daniel this week is just we've seen this from many players in the past. Great shot there from Labutis from distance, but you know, every match he seems to be breaking a run in 3, 4, 5 racks, and that's an easy way to get separation and win a ton of matches behind it. That's a rare emotion you'll see from Duong, so a little frustration. And does anyone conserve more energy at the pool table than this man here? We talk about it sometimes. It looks like a light wind might blow him over.
Yeah, he's one of those players, you think if you erected a camp bed next to his chair, he'd probably have a nap in between racks.
Talked about, you know, who's getting a little the best of the rolls or maybe a little more unlucky. Beautiful jump and then a great kick shot to hold the ball, but then the paint dresses up in front of the pocket. And there, he's still kind of hitting the pocket a hair rough.
Yeah, this is the 3rd opportunity for Labutis in this rack. The first 2 amounted to very little.
That's why all the training is there, right? You know, when you're maybe not on, it's not quite so bad. And you look to just move forward and improve as every rack goes on.
The gap is about to widen again. A decidedly quirky 7th rack. Pijus Labutis isn't complaining. He leads 5-2. Now earlier, the lineup for the Premier League pool was finalised, and one of those involved will be young Claudio Cacci. It's taking place here at this very venue, March 20 to 27, and the young Albanian is really looking forward to his involvement.
Claudio, congratulations. You're confirmed for Premier League pool. How does it feel to secure your spot?
Yeah, I'm feeling great, very happy, excited. I've been practicing hard for this tournament. I don't know, it's just like a dream for me.
As a young player, what does this opportunity mean to you?
I think this is a tough tournament for the future. You know, it makes you way better because I'm gonna play a lot of matches, you know, with tough players, emotions and everything, you know.
Given the Premier League's pool's fast-paced race-to-5 format against some of the world's top players, how are you preparing for this new challenge?
I mean, it's tough, you know. I think race to 5, everything can happen. You never know what is gonna happen. But I'm gonna try my best, do a great fight, you know, play solid. That's it.
Yeah, if you're just joining us, there were 2 spots to be filled in that 16-player tournament. Claudio Cacci got the nod, and so did AJ Manis from the Philippines, who's an absolutely wonderful young talent.
Yeah, that's the hit on the one he wants. Of course, he's going to get a massive reward just a foot away from the blue 2, the red 3 on that end as well. And of course, there's always work out there. Things can change so quickly when trying to clear a table, but you gotta like the position of these balls to get looks like a massive lead in this match at maybe 6-2.
Tobias Bongas has pulled one back on table 2. 6-3 now, Daniel Massiol's lead there.
Exactly what you want to enter rack. Probably maybe a 2 feet of cue ball movement for these next 3 or 4 shots.
So he's gone from a quirky rack 7 to a very conventional 8th. Dwong not at the point of despondency yet, but he will be concerned, and rightly so. Pijus Labutis 4 to the good at 6-2. So what about this junior open final taking place right now? Well, we saw that Ivan Rudenko had made a flying start, but Walter Lakra is now looking good. Rudenko led 3-0, courtesy of a golden break in the third. But Lakra from Sweden has got the 9 ball to edge in front. Well, what we saw there was very solid cueing, technically, as straight as you like, a really straight shooter. In fact, his technique is actually better than a lot of the players we've seen.
For many generations, were all obviously some of the greatest in the world, if not the best for some time, but didn't key on technique as much. Where in the Philippines, just like now in Europe, of course, they always key on technique, and you just got to believe it's going to get better and better as the generations come. Okay, trying to kind of masse down, draw behind the 9. Looks like he's just going to get there. Maybe gave up a little look. It's a funny match here. If you think about it, I just don't really think I've seen a moment where I thought Duong has really given it away. It's just been little things here and there. The overcut on the 7 a little bit. That was a super tough shot. Easy to lose the cue ball. Every little kick hasn't worked out. Now that safety, he should have hit the mark there, but even though it was from distance, just little things. But you got to be patient because these matches change like the wind. You know that, Phil.
Yeah, you're right, though. The thing is, at this level, tiny incidents, if they go predominantly one way, quickly accumulate.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, if he's stunning this ball, this is the shot he's been a little rough on in this match so far. Oh, he went forward. Beautiful stroke. That one will make you feel good.
And technically, he's also very good, Pijus Labutis. He won the Bigfoot Challenge at the Derby City Classic this year, beating Joshua Filler in the final. It's called the Bigfoot Challenge because it's played on a 10-by-5 table. So you've got to have a good technique to cope with those playing dimensions. You can't fiddle it around, can you?
Yeah, and what people don't realize, not only having that great technique, it really helps when the nerves are high. You know, I mean, it's just one more thing that's kind of on your side when maybe you may not be perfect. I think he can make it, but it's certainly not ideal.
Yeah, as we were bigging him up, he was a little clumsy there.
Yeah, and it's not the type of shot you want to dig on too much from this angle, but maybe a light draw stroke. No, he's going to roll it. I'll tell you, maybe he had a little talk with himself there and said, hey, let the arm go a little bit. A lot of players would kind of float that ball just back and forth. He went with a very aggressive stroke, and it's going to pay off.
He was actually playing with a little bit of fire there, trying to cheat the pocket to widen the angle. He did it, it was fine, but at that pace, any greater inaccuracy, and it might have stayed on the table, that 7.
Yeah, that extension he had on made the ball deflect a little more, maybe. But now it is a massive lead, but it feels even bigger.
Yes, and Duong Kwok will be sitting in his chair, as Jeremy said, and he won't be overly disappointed with the way he's played, but he will be with a scoreline, which is 7-2.
Don't even know what you are messing with. We're coming at you with a brand new hit. Something's telling me that it's still inside.
Is it going to be success in Sarajevo for Pijus Labutis? Will it be his breakthrough in Bosnia? This is the venue, the five-star resort at Hotel Hills. It's held some professional snooker in the past, and now the pool world has descended for the European Open. Quarter-finals night, two of them in progress at the moment. Daniel Masayol, 6-4 over Tobias Bongas. Bongas is nothing if not stubborn. It's a wider margin for Labutis over Duong Kok Lang, 7-2. Remember, the quarterfinals a race to 10, so Labutis only 3 racks away from achieving his goal. The junior final, Walter Lakra, well, his progress continues. He's now 6-4 up, and during the break between racks there, my co-commentator Jeremy Jones received a text from a celebrity pool fan. Tell us about it, Jeremy.
Oh yeah, well, a lot of people know that Joe Rogan is a big pool fan. He's actually a pretty darn good player himself, and he loves watching all these guys, and he hits me up just saying how great they are and how amazing, and plays a ton of pool himself, and he's going to always be watching. Of course, a busy guy, so sometimes he has to catch up on it later, but he's tuned into all these greats. Now we can see a 3-9 looming, so this blue 2 is gonna be fought for. I don't think he's attacking down the rail. I wish he was, just because it's my favorite shot to watch in all the pool. Looks like he's gonna play kind of simply behind the brown. I don't mind this shot myself, but of course maybe it's a little thinner than he likes. Good speed. He didn't try to creep up on the brown there, understanding how important that snooker is, especially with a big lead.
I think that's another asset of Labutis. The mixture of defence and attack is just about right. He seems to time his approach to shots. Doesn't push the boat out, but on the other hand, if he feels the necessity and the value of attacking, he will do.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we have a very unique sport here in so many ways, but one of them is you have to be that caddy or coach or whatever it is, and then also when you get down, be the athlete and swing the cue. So a combination of both is what makes all these players. He needs a little roll here, get something going. What an effort that was. Wow. And that was no fluke. That was certainly by design. Now the problem is I think he's covered up that 3-9 combination, so it could be a sticky rack.
Attention call.
Feel like he might knock this in. I don't know why. I just feel like, of course, it's going to have some speed on it as it needs it.
Got to tell you this, Tobias Bongas now only 6-5 down to Daniel Masayol.
Oh, we know he's got no give up. All right, nice hit. Again, very important that just the hit alone with a situation with the 3-9-4 that's very difficult. All right, go ahead and be aggressive here. Try and plant him on the back of the 6-8, coming off the right side of the blue 2. Yeah, it's a little funny, actually. Still very doable, though.
That's what he's got to do. Just keep plugging away, hoping that the pool gods, rather than scowl, will smile on you.
Yeah, absolutely. You just have to try and get on the breaking in here sooner than later. I thought he had the 2-rail kick off the left side rail to the top cushion. That's obviously cut off. Didn't want to open that trouble up, but I guess surrendering ball in hand Hoàng would have figured out position on the red 3.
Well, 2 good hooks from Hoàng, and the second of them should yield something.
Yeah, everything in the open, even though there's a little congestion. So gonna have to make a little bit of a shot down the rail here. Get the cue ball somewhat on the line it's on now for the pink 4.
Removing the 6 makes the black 8 ball wide open. Hoàng won the 3rd rack and the 6th. Now surely he's going to add the 10th. Always a blueprint for success. They had a couple of really good tactical shots, and when the chance was forced, he took full advantage. Waterlakra getting ever closer to the winning line in the Bosnia and Herzegovina junior. This is a race to 9. He's on 7 already.
Yeah, and after that golden break from Rodenko, golden break, he had won 8 out of 9, I believe. Or 7. I'm sorry.
But it's amazing how this game just rears up, and when everything's going so well, suddenly it's tables turned. We'll keep you informed about the exploits of the juniors. Oh, as Hoàng finds it a very bad time to come up dry.
Yeah, he hasn't made the one in the side yet in this match. Of course, only 3 breaks, but that's not the percentage he's looking for. His opening break of the match made the odd ball, and here the last 2 have been dry. And not only with a lead, that's not a way to win, but certainly when trailing, that can pretty much kind of seal the deal.
Little more breathing space to report for Daniel Maciol, now 7-5 over Tobias Bongers. And I think the players are cottoning on as to how these pockets are playing. You hit that lung rail and they will be sucked in.
Yeah, especially you're playing with an angle, right? The ball Tends to play a little softer going towards the pocket. But I'll tell you, we've had these diamond tables at many events, many of our open events, the open majors, and got comments all week that they felt like even the outer tables weren't playing as tough as normal. Can play either side on the purple. He'd like the right side of the table. That would make things the easiest. Makes it where he can now just come across and have a natural angle off the green 6 to draw up the table for the 7.
If you were marking Pijus Labutis in this match, you'd give him a B+. But that's been good enough for a convincing 8-3 lead. Little closer over on table 2. Germany against Daniel Masséon. Tobias Bonger's forward back hard. Masséon here. Well, for someone of his skill level, this really should be 8-5. Stylish Cumin. 8-5 it is. The winner of Masséon Bongers will play either Sem in the semi-finals. Pijus Labutis well on course for a semi-final meeting with either Joshua Filler or Wojciech Szewczyk.
Back 12. Used break.
Nine-ball, funny game. Hit him more like he wanted. Of course, didn't get that shot. He's had some breaks he wasn't probably so happy with the stroke and ended up with a nice shot. So not too much to stress about if you're Pijus with this kind of lead and just the way things have gone for Wang.
Push out.
Well, all sportsmen are prone to selective thinking. But I think if Labutis were to be annoyed with the way the balls have run in this match, that really would be selective thinking.
Yeah, if you're new to 9-ball pool, not sure that may be our first push out of the match, but after the break and only after the break, the breaker after making a ball or the incoming player after a dry break has the option to declare push out and roll the cue ball out anywhere they want. And then the incoming player has the option to take the shot or pass it back. Didn't have a whole lot of options there, that being Pijus with the 2 so open. Watch out, 9-ball. So you kind of feel like he gave up too much of an easy safety look there for Wang, but again, there wasn't a whole lot to work with.
Extension call.
The 9-ball was in motion. So was the 2. But Wong can get through easily to it. And it's a nice open table, inviting.
And I'll tell you again, I mean, he's had some mistakes. He wants some back, that's for sure. But it hasn't been just terrible. So a lot of times, if you can make a gritty out, this is way shy, though. These little things like that, you know. But what I was going to say is the pool gods will usually give you some kind of chance. But again, the safety side of things is not what he's wanting.
Yeah, I think an intrinsic problem in Q Sport is if you don't get quality table time, that's when misjudgments like we've just seen can crop up.
Yeah, but he had all that space above, right? The error, the real error was short, so you got to be mindful of those things. Did attack a little bit, trying to play a two-way. He's going to play here, trying to hit it full, maybe clip it and run the cue ball. Oh, he hit it really nice, really squarely.
Last time we were with you on the table, Walter Lakra scratched, but it was only a minor inconvenience. He's 8-4 up on Ivan Rudenko, doubling up on the opposition. And he's just 2 balls away from being champion.
Yeah, that cue ball's going to get away from the rail, it appears. Short side position to take it down.
A Swede successful in Sarajevo. Walter Lakra defeats his roommate for the 9-4. Is the Bosnia and Herzegovina Junior Open champion.
Another nice hit after another nice safety from Wong. I think he really has a pocket he can really play at. I mean, it does go by the 9 in the corner, I believe, but the angle doesn't offer position. Does he get a little free look at the 3-9 combo while it's trying to play safe? That doesn't really sit there either.
Frozen.
Well, it's been his night so far. Of that, there is no debate. Well jumped, though. Well jumped.
Yeah, he kind of dug on it to kind of kill the cue ball coming across. It's amazing how good the players are with the short cue these days. Everyone in the building knows he has to have these 4 balls really to have any chance.
Yeah, we often say this, but just keep your opponent off the hill. Then there's realistic hope. And the format can facilitate fight backs, winner breaks. Not over yet, this, even though Pijus Labutis is most certainly firmly in the driver's seat. 8-4.
Don't even know what you are messing with. We're coming at you with a brand new hit. Something's telling me that it's still in time.
The venue is the Hotel Hills in the delightful city of Sarajevo, the capital of Bosnia and Herzegovina. The tournament is the first major World 9-Ball Tour ranking event of 2025, the European Open. It is quarter-finals night. 2 quarter-finals in progress at the moment. The 2 players leading, that man, Pijus Labutis, and across the arena, it's also looking good for Daniel Massayon. 2 more quarter-finals to come on the completion of these contests.
I'll tell you, his first time to make the one in the side. He got a nice kiss to avoid the scratch. Another nice kiss not to be pinned on the top rail, looking at this long 2-ball. So very playable now, and maybe has a chance to turn the tide. Tricky little opener here, though. He's got to come past the side 2 cushions with a red 3 in the open pocket. It doesn't play by the purple. You got to get into this ball, but then it's easy to overhit and maybe get a little thin on the red 3. First things first, you got to bury it.
We were on the overhead camera looking at that. How did the cue ball not go in?
I think it was you that said it yesterday. These pockets sometimes will jaw the ball, and the sign's certainly difficult. Sometimes help you out with the white ball also, and just got to maintain. He's played some beautiful tactical shots. They haven't always paid off, but you just got to keep doing it. He kept that one a little more simple. There were a lot of options there just to kind of leave an open cue ball. I thought he would go forward behind the purple, maybe overcut the 3 and run the cue ball behind the pink. That one was a little surprising, Phil. I tell you, for a long distance shot, this isn't the worst combination in the world, but I'm sure it's going to be a safety.
Had to be really delicate, and he wasn't quite delicate enough.
Yeah, but never was going to really get ball in hand, so he had to really kind of make sure he doesn't give up the good side of the 3. The right side of the 3 doesn't do much for you. Now what you could do is shave off this and leave a 3-8 combination from distance. That's what I would look at. All right, here you go.
Are things beginning to pivot?
And I'm almost 100% he had the right side of the red 3 there. And a little shocked he didn't recognize the shot I was talking about. A little light there just to make things as easy as possible.
With the cue action he's got, I think Hoàng gets an awful lot out of the cue ball with a seemingly effortless delivery.
Yeah, it's hard to recognize that acceleration. He's got to kill this one pretty good. Close to the ball. I think I worry more about the miss than I do the cue ball.
Yeah, the Czech English did its job.
Yeah, and the key to that shot is not let up. The way the spin does do its work. I hit that a little thick. And just all that room above the 8, it shouldn't be a problem, but you see funny things in these big moments.
Well recovered. And Hoàng is rallying. When he was 7-2 down, it was looking bleak. This, though, to win 3 of the next 4 racks. It could still be victory for Vietnam. Do not write him off. Yes, Pijus Labutis has that 8-5 lead, but he's starting to think Wang is getting into his stride.
Yeah, he finally made the one on the side. Of course, he can't afford to exchange games. It's got to be that kind of 3 out of 4 clip to steal this match away.
Well, after a mid-match rally from Tobias Bongers, Daniel Maciel has this routine 9-ball to reach the hill. And he goes 9-6. Tobias Bongers last night, around this time last night, had to win the last flex. From 9-5 down to beat Yannick Bongers. The task tonight almost equally as difficult, and I think from the cheer we've just heard, that match could well be all might be making progress, and this is why. Oh, come on! What a way to see a match out, a golden break.
Yeah, there's the break off that he's wanting. Maciel had the one he wanted also to finish that match. I'll tell you, he's been really good kicking at the ball, very good safety-wise. I think he's got to take on this kick to get some type of safety. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult to push out.
Just going back to that golden break, Jeremy, it's only a matter of time before we see a final in one of these massive events where the clinching blow is a golden break. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, and we talked about it before. It's going to happen. You know, some don't mind it. Some would say, maybe not Hill, please, for the title. But the thing is, here on the World 9-Ball Tour, we've been so blessed to have so many close finals. It's going to have an impact, but that's just part of the game. That kiss on the 9 causes a lot of scratches, so I don't mind that reward from time to time. I'm a little surprised he's pushing out, and I'll be really surprised if he gives him a look on the blue 2. Not sure about that. I didn't mind the push out. I'd probably push out to a kick shot right there that I'm comfortable with if I'm Huang. This doesn't look hard to put the 2, you know, cut it to hit right before the side, just come 1 rail at the 7, kind of floating across, put the 2 near the 6, something like that. And I just think that was a bad push out, to be honest. I think you have to take that kick on, especially trailing 8-5. And if you're gonna give him that look, you really have to have the cue ball on the cushion. That way cueing is a little more difficult.
Extension.
This is going to serve up a shot. It is a shot from distance. He's got options on the red 3, though. You know, and these pros know how important that push out is, but it's hard to see those little things as just a casual fan, but it really has a big impact in the game.
So often in racks at this level, whoever knocks in that 2-ball, well, it proves critical, and I think it might well do here. Look at this table.
Yeah, I think whether it be the lead or just a few kind of solid outs, those last few games that Pijus won before Duong made a little run, I think will settle him enough to clear these. No real worries really. Brought that a little thin to the pocket.
Yeah, Labutis getting shape from 6 to 7. Maybe a smidgen of hope for Duong, but only that.
Yeah, you're really open for both sides on that brown 7, so it's going to be easy to make a good decision. And kind of got where one rail down on the left side is probably my first pick. Don't like going forward with inside. Stunning has gotten
Extension
away
call.
from him a couple times. When the nerves are high, that's that angle shooting off the rail that we do see a missed ball that we don't expect. It's usually a hair thick when the miss does arrive.
Wow, that was the thin one. You just knew as soon as the cue ball went close to the side cushion, it was a pressurised shot. Will that blunder, JJ, come back to haunt him?
Well, it's certainly going to haunt him, you would think, in this game, but and you wonder moving forward mentally. I mean, that's probably to close the door on the match at 9-5 and breaking. Do you feel he kind of pulled the trigger a little quicker than he has been, you know, once he got down on the ball?
Players immediately know big moments, big mistakes. Huang was staring at going 9-5 down. Labutis was 3 balls away from the hill. Now, though, he's got to do it all again. He's got to recover from that mentally. The scoreline is, in actuality, 8-6. The 7 got away. Jeremy Jones called this. It wasn't a nice shot at all. And as soon as he hit the 7, you knew the fate of it. It was wide.
Yeah, that's one he's got to think about. Now, early in the match, though, when there was a mistake by one player, whether it be a dry break or something funny come along, they got to excuse it quickly. We'll see if Wong can make him sit a bit.
You see the pressure now, apart from desperately wanting to progress.
Break 15.
The pressure is,
Long break.
he's thinking to himself, how bad would I feel if I lost? And that's the worst kind of pressure, because it's a while until he gets back on the horse. He does not want to go to bed tonight thinking, what did I do?
And he's found the break as well. We'll see what it treats him with. By far his best look, even though it's long distance. Good thing for him, the 3 fairly open off the bottom cushion, so it doesn't need a lot to get position. Does need a nice strike on the cue ball, though.
All players, Jeremy, want to build a big lead, of course they do, but when it's being eroded, it's a horrible sinking feeling.
Yeah, no doubt, and especially eroded with you having something to do with that. Okay, needs just a foot out of the cue ball or so. 2 feet would be perfect. Didn't really try to do much there on the cue ball. side. And just like I said a moment ago, Phil, just like early in the match when someone has made a big mistake, there really hasn't been a ton of punishment. They've gotten right back out, not to kind of wipe that away.
Yeah, whoever wins would need to improve in the semi-finals tomorrow, especially if they're up against the tournament favourite Joshua Filler.
Yeah, and what happens is when you know, PSE's been to a few semifinals, and of course Wong's been to a couple as well, but when you're not regular and then you're facing someone you feel like is going to give you maybe more chances than you know, an SVB or Federgorst or FSR, maybe you tend to put a little more pressure. So no matter who goes on to win this, I think the semifinal will be a little better for him. But the way you feel overall about this match, that, you know, the pool gods had it in to where they liked Pijus. And if it wasn't for some mistakes that no one would expect, it could have been something like a 10-3 win, 10-2 win even.
Yes, at his zenith, he led 7-2. He would gladly accept 9-6 now, and really it should be a matter of course. Wobbly. Well, maybe one rack later than he might have been, but Pijus Labutis is on the hill at 9-6. Duong Kok Wang has 4 racks left. He has to win all of them. So over on table 2 right now, Naoki Oi and Loho Sema getting ready to play their quarter-final. The winner of that will take on Daniel Maciol, who was the first player into the semi-finals with that 10-6 win over Tobias Bongas, completed by a golden break in rack 16. As for Labutis or Duong, whoever wins will go forward to face Joshua Filler or Wojciech Szewczyk in the semis tomorrow. Filler and Szewczyk will provide our nightcap on the main table at the conclusion of the match we're watching right now. And once again, our congratulations to Walter Lakra from Sweden, beating Ivan Rudenko 9-4 in the Junior Open final.
Rack 17. Pijus break.
Well, for a split second after he made contact on that break, Jeremy, it didn't look too good, but it's a whole lot more rosy now.
Yeah, it didn't sound the best either, but he's really just a cut shot on the one and kind of go at the 5-9 with the cue ball, maybe a hair of left spin. But be nice to end it with a break and run, maybe even an early combo on the 5-9. We'll see. Don't think I put anything extra, just let it roll with some left English maybe.
Telltale sign of nerves there, wiping his hands on his trousers. He's feeling it. He's feeling the nerves.
One of the more confident strokes of the match, and don't think you're going to see a 5-9, but we'll see how he dresses up on the pink 4. So here you want to be very clear cut. Are you drawing back into a small area to get straight on the 5? I kind of like using the angle on the 5 to kind of cannon into the 9 and maybe play the 6 on the side. Just give yourself that look at the 5. I think he wanted a hair more angle. That way the cue ball probably gets through the 9 and moves over just a bit more.
Extension call.
And here he's just gotten himself where he's going to have to make a bit more of a shot on the 6. He's going to fall a hair on the wrong side unless he flirts with maybe getting on top of the 6. Just remind yourself how good you are. You can handle it. Not the best there. Good thing for him, he got off the rail with the cue ball, but not the angle he wanted.
Yeah, cutting back into a semi-blind pocket, not recommended at this stage. Much like the 7 ball a couple of racks ago, you could see it coming.
Extension.
I'll tell you what, Pijus Labutis has been very fortunate that Duong Kwok Wang hasn't seized upon the errors he's made.
Yeah, there was definitely some that were in Duong's hands. I think a few of those errors maybe Pijus got away with, but got to figure he's going to get it done from here. That looks like really good speed.
It wasn't perfect, but Pijus prevails. The Lithuanian into the semi-finals. He defeats Duong Kwok Wang by 10 racks to 6. Now let's go to Di Stewart, who's with our Junior Open champion.